Find the measure of angle AOB, the measure of angle AOE, and the measure of angle DOE. Here we've went ahead and labeled where the angles are placed on our diagram. Let's go ahead and start solving for them. Here we can see our two green angles are vertical. This is angle DOB, and it's vertical with the angle that we need, AOE. And we know that vertical angles are congruent, meaning they have the same measure. So if we could find the measure of angle DOB, we would know the measure of angle AOE. So in order to find angle DOB, we need to add 67 plus 75, which gives us 142 degrees. That means the measure of angle AOE is also 142 degrees. Again, the measure of angle AOE is 142 degrees. Now the way that we know that is because we have two intersecting lines, which would be line DA, and it intersects with line EB. And since we have these two intersecting lines, angle DOB and angle AOE are vertical, and which means they are congruent. Let's go ahead and kind of clean up our diagram. Now let's try to find our other two angles. And actually it turns out that angle DOE, the pink one, and angle AOB, the orange one, those are also vertical. So our two remaining angles that we're looking for are vertical, which means they should be congruent. The two angles at the bottom of our diagram make a straight line, which means they're next to each other and they connect and make 180 degrees. They're supplementary, which means the measure of angle DOE plus the measure of angle AOE should equal 180 degrees. So we can solve. And we will be able to find the measure of angle DOE by first substituting 142 degrees in for the measure of angle AOE. Now to solve for our angle, we need to subtract 142 from both sides of the equation. And we get the measure of angle DOE equals 38 degrees. As we stated before, the measure of angle DOE and measure of angle AOB should be the same since they are vertical, which means the measure of angle AOB should also be 38 degrees. Now we can verify this using the fact that the measure of angle AOB plus the measure of angle AOE are also supplementary. Again, AOB and AOE, these angles, should add to 180 degrees because they are supplementary. So we can verify that this is true. 38 plus 142 equals 180, which means we had a true statement, so they are supplementary. So to put this all together, the measure of angle AOB is 38 degrees, the measure of angle AOE is 142 degrees, and the measure of angle DOE is 38 degrees.